So, have you ever wondered what really happens after a company goes through all the trouble of getting a major security certification? Like an ISMS or a PMark? Does it actually make a difference, or is it just a fancy plaque they hang on the wall? Well, let's get into it and find out. And this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? A lot of people are pretty skeptical, and they ask, okay, but what's really going to be different for us after we get certified? And you know what? It's a totally fair question. The answer, though, might not be what you expect. The honest truth is, not much, at least not dramatically overnight. It's not like you get the certificate on a Monday and walk into a totally transformed company on Tuesday. The changes are much more subtle, more gradual, but they are absolutely there. And they tend to show up in two main areas. So where do these changes actually pop up? Well, it really boils down to two big things. First, the internal atmosphere. That's how it feels to actually work inside the company. And second, the external perception, which is how everyone on the outside, like clients and partners, sees the company. All right, let's tackle that first one. What changes on the inside? Before a company gets certified, there's often this kind of low-level, unspoken anxiety about security. But afterwards, that feeling gets replaced by a sense of clear, visible assurance. I mean, think about all those little gray areas at work, right? The things that nobody's ever really sure about. Like, hey, am I allowed to use my own USB drive for this file? Or what are we supposed to do with the accounts of people who've left the company? Or even just, what's the right way to encrypt an email I'm sending out? The certification process forces a company to create clear, written rules for all this stuff. All that guesswork just disappears, and people can finally do their jobs with confidence. And this quote it nails the feeling perfectly. It's not about making all the risks magically vanish. It's about making those risks and the rules to manage them visible to everyone. And when you can actually see the plan, that vague, nagging anxiety just gets replaced with a huge sense of relief, because now you actually know what you're supposed to do. And this right here is a massive shift. Before, when there are no clear rules and something goes wrong, what happens? The blame game. Everyone starts pointing fingers. But once you have a certified system in place, it stops being about any one person's mistake. It becomes about this system, a shared responsibility that's there to protect everybody. And that builds a really powerful sense of trust from within. Okay, so that's the vibe on the inside. Now let's flip the coin and look at how things change on the outside. This is all about how that certificate acts as a visible badge of trust for the rest of the world. This is so important because a certification is a powerful signal. When you're talking to a potential new client, it immediately tells them that you're a proper, well-organized company, one that takes this stuff seriously. It's basically a shortcut to building trust and credibility, and sometimes that's the one thing that can make or break a deal. And this trust factor isn't just for clients. It's a huge leg up when you're trying to hire people. In today's world, top talent is really security conscious. They want to know that the company they work for is going to protect their data. So having that certification is visible proof that you've invested in a safe, structured environment. It makes you a way more attractive place to work, especially in a competitive market. So we've got the internal benefits and the external benefits. But when you put them all together, you start to see what the real goal of this whole process is. And let me tell you, it's way bigger than just the piece of paper itself. Okay, if you only take one thing away from this, let it be this. Getting the certificate is not the trophy you get when you finish the race. No way. It's the starting gun. The real value, the whole point of it all, is everything that comes after. You can see that whole journey laid out perfectly here. Step 1 is getting the certification. That's your ticket to the game. But step 2 is the hard part, actually living by those rules and weaving them into how you work every single day. And the ultimate goal, the real prize, is step 3, creating a true culture of security, where being security aware is just second nature for everyone. And that's really the bottom line. The biggest benefit of getting certified might just be the process of getting there. It forces conversations about security that would probably never happen otherwise. It gets everyone on the same page, not just the IT department. And when you build that shared mindset, that is what really changes a company from the inside out. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. We've seen that certifications are really about building a visible, systematic foundation of trust. So take a second and ask yourself, what is the trust in your company really built on?